Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you another movie review. This time we're going to be talking about Stakelander 2, also called Stakelander. Late with this review because I watched this movie last week, but, just with work and, I've talked about it in all my TV reviews lately. I've just been really backed up lately. But I wanted to make sure to get around to talking about the sequel because the first Stakelander came out. Let me just check real quick. I should have already known this. Okay, yeah. Came out back in 2010, and I have the first Stakelander on Blu-ray here. I also have this weird copy that I got before, I found the Blu-ray. And it's just really miscolored for some reason. I forget where I got it. But the first Stakelander I loved. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I'd say probably my favorite vampire movie of all time. It's between that, 30 Days of Night, and a couple others. But Stakeland's always stood out to me as one of the best, if not the very best, vampire movie of all time. At least of the post-apocalyptic type and everything. It's hard to compare to your classic Dracula movies or something, but as far as this kind, Stakeland's definitely the best. Somewhat high expectations going in because of that. And also, with this, I was actually as excited about it. I didn't really know they were doing a sequel, though. I guess a lot of the production was kind of kept in secret, or maybe I just wasn't seeing reports about it for some reason or something, but they just all of a sudden popped up and it was going to air on the Sci-Fi Channel. I decided to wait until it went either on Netflix or actually came out on DVD Blu-ray or something, because I didn't really want to watch the sci-fi commercials and stuff. But luckily it finally came on Netflix just a couple weeks ago, I think. Me and my girlfriend watched it. We both really loved the first, like I said. And I actually have the Blu-ray copy of Stakelander 2 on the way now. It should be here within a day or two, so that's awesome. And I gotta say, I like this one. I liked Stakelander 2 quite a bit. I don't think it was really on the level of the first film. It didn't really quite hit the beats as strong as that one did, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. But I still thought it was an enjoyable, follow-up. I was happy I seen it. I'm happy they made it. Even if it was, 6-7 years later, I was still happy it happened, and I wasn't disappointed with it. I'm glad it's there. And Stakelander 2, it picks up. There's a bit of a time gap between this and the first one. We see. Let me just make sure I got the actors' names right. I know Nick Damici, but yeah, Connor Paolo, his character Martin. It's been a few years. I forget exactly how long it's been, but a good gap of time. I think it's been 5-10 years or something like that. He has this family now, actually. They found New Eden. The girl we see at the end of the first movie ends up having a kid with her. He has this great beard now and everything. But unfortunately, in Stakelander fashion and in true horror movie fashion, his family is attacked and killed, unfortunately, by this new group being led by this person or vampire named Mother. The Mother. So this movie sort of has a revenge element to it. And because of that, New Eden is just pretty much destroyed as well. So he goes to seek out Mr. again to guide him and try and get revenge on Mother and things like that. Mr. Meanwhile, his fate was left ambiguous at the end of the first movie, and it kind of is in this one. So I feel like it's a tradition. He left his necklace hanging at the end of the first one, so he didn't really know what he went off to do. It was either that some people thought he was bitten and turned or something, and he went off to kill himself or something, but no, I just thought he went off to help more people, and it turns out to be the case. So we have Nick Damici back, which is great. He again helped write this one as he did with the first movie. Nick Damici, man, he is a real talent. He even he replied to me on Twitter, which is great. He's a very solid actor. I really like his work on that end. But writing, with these being some of my favorite vampire movies of all time, I think that's a big credit to him on that end too. And he is again very good in this one. Connor Paolo is good as well. My girlfriend didn't think it was the same actor at first from the first movie, but it is. But again, it's been like 6-7 years, and he's able to grow his beard now, so of course he looks a little bit different. But he did pretty well. And we also have another cast member that I want to talk a bit about in a second. They end up holding up at this other outpost with some guys Mr. had known in the past. And here we get like a little bit of background information on Mr. He's still very much a mystery, and kind of they still try to keep a certain mystique to him in a way. But we found out from his friends here that he had lost his entire family at one point as well, and he at one point was going on this tirade around the country trying to find the one that did it. I forget if they said if he ever actually found the specific one that did it or not. So I'm kind of thinking maybe if they do a third movie, they could sort of expand more on what happened with Mr. when he was younger, and maybe they could bring that one vampire back, make that vampire kind of a special thing. I don't know. It still was good to hear that part of it, even though pretty much everyone's lost a family. It still it still added to the movie to hear. I mean. And with these friends that they hold up with at this outpost type of thing, we have Stephen Williams. He's Doc Earl. Stephen Williams, a lot of people recognize as Rufus from Supernatural. And he pretty much acts the same way he does in this movie, which I was completely fine with. He's an entertaining actor. So I liked him quite a bit. He's also going to be in the new It movie, which is cool. And then, I also had A.C. Peterson as a bat. I thought he was quite likable, too. And then another character that they added onto the movie was Laura Abramsen. She played this girl that's called Lady. They didn't really know her name, and sort of Mr. just kind of gives her a similar name that he has, Lady and Mr. and things like that. I liked her quite a bit as well. She's like this feral, just because she's been living with either these is completely awful people, or she's been just having to survive off the land for years if she wasn't captured and things like that. So if she's feral, she doesn't really speak much, if at all, and just the way she moves and everything. So I liked her quite a bit too. It was unfortunate what happened with her at the end. Again, there's spoilers in the title, so don't blame me, okay? Let's see. I know there's other things to talk about. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to talk about next. But the mother as a villain, I thought was pretty good. She looked creepy. Christina Hughes, who played her, was fine. I think they could have done a bit more with her though, because once they end up confronting her in the climax of the movie, it feels like she's not really that special. Like she seems like she's really powerful with like her strikes and everything, but I don't know, it just feels like she's a regular vampire, and we don't really get the sense that there's anything extra special about her, or at least I didn't. Except that she has this abilities to sort of control the others and things like that, but they didn't really do much with that. I still thought she was a fine villain though, for what it was. It served the story they were trying to tell, I guess. And she looked creepy. Like the effects on her were good, and the effects in the whole movie were good, by the way. They didn't really stick out as much as the first one, but I still thought they were on par with it. Like the effects on the vamps, they all look really good. They all look really like mangled and just really disgusting. So that's good. When we do see blood and gore, it is prominent enough, so I like that too. So again, effects are on par. And probably like one of my favorite scenes in the movie is this is random, but Mister's hung up on this cross, and he ends up having to get down because he's held up there, just being served up to the vamps that night. But he's able to get down, and he ends up using some of the wood as like a battering ram kind of thing. Not a battering ram, he doesn't use it like that, but he sort of turns it and he's able to hit the one, and then he breaks the vampire's neck with his legs. So it is a bit over the top. It is a bit more over the top than the first one, but it's still awesome. I'll want to compare it to the first one more in just a minute here, but I did really like the ending to this movie. Again, it sort of left Mr.'s fate ambiguous like the first did. Him and Martin do have some good moments together. I like their quieter moments together, really, because we just see how much they still hold in regard for one another, really, because of their experiences in the first film. By the way, Martin even named his daughter that was killed in the beginning Belle, which was Danielle Harris's character in the first movie, so I thought that was nice as well. So when they reconnect, it's really nice. And there's also this kind of father-daughter dynamic between Mr. and Lady, and it kind of adds to it when we find out, that he had his own family and such. And there's these times where she's kind of like cuddling up to him. It's kind of nice. At first it's a little bit weird, but then it becomes kind of touching. And Lady, she ends up getting out, but she's confronted by this vampire on the road. She's able to kill it, and then she sacrifices herself again, to protect Mr. and Martin. But she's unfortunately bitten, and she's slowly turning, so they have to put her down in the end. And I was kind of disappointed by that. I would have liked her to survive and continue on into the next potential third movie, have her be developed a little bit more. Maybe have her start speaking a little bit, maybe. I don't know, but it felt a little bit odd that they introduced her like that just to kill her off. But, it was okay. And then Mr., with Mother's final assault, they're able to, kill Mother, of course. They end up poking both her eyes out, so she's blind, kind of reaching around for him in the end, and they put her down. Connor, Martin, fittingly, takes her head off, and fulfills his vengeance for his family. And then there's a bunch more vamps on the road, and Mr. ends up having Martin run off, and he'll hold him off for as long as he can. And then, of course, it cuts to the credits right when Mr.'s about to start fighting all of them. So now we hear the narration from Martin saying he doesn't know what happened to him or anything like that. So I think they left it open on purpose. So I think if they make a third movie, Mr.'s going to be in it. He'll have survived somehow. That's just the way it goes with that character. So overall, it was a really fun movie. I was saying it wasn't as good as the first, and it wasn't. It wasn't quite on the first level. It wasn't as scary. There were some moments of tenseness. I was worried at certain times, so it didn't leave me completely unfulfilled with fear or worry or anything like that for the characters. I'm just saying, like, in general, it didn't feel like as scary. It didn't feel as intense necessarily. It didn't feel as impactful with the story beats. It felt a little bit rushed in that regard with the lady thing and a couple other little points to it. And it just didn't feel like as grim or as dark as the first one did. Of course it still was, but it felt like it was a little bit more over the top, a little bit more kind of campy. But it wasn't, so far where it felt like a spoof or something either, it just felt a little bit lighter than the first. But still, overall, I thought it was fine. If I had to rate it, I'd rate it like a B+. I still really, really liked it. I'm glad they did it. Hoping for a third one. They took 6-7 years to do this one, so we have plenty of time for them to announce it and do it. I'm really hoping they do. Let me know what you guys thought about Stakelander. And later today, I'll have a review of Alien Covenant. I'm working tonight, but I should be home in time to review the 100 Season 4 finale tonight as well when that airs. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe, and peace.